All right. Oh, looks like Alexander. There he is.
Hello.
Hold on 1 second. How's
It seems to be working tonight.
Let me get my earphones going as well. Hold on 1 second. No, the earphones aren't working. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfectly fine.
Good. Okay, good. So that's all
But
fine.
my camera's just.
What is up with your camera?
The camera is perfectly fine. It's StreamYards. It just loses connection to the camera.
Sure, blame it on StreamYards.
Yeah, because it's working fine in another window here.
There you go.
And there we go. Boom, there it starts working again. I have no idea.
All right. Let's see. Yeah. For whatever reason, maybe these are dead. Anyway, as long as everyone can hear me and there's no feedback, we should be good. All right.
Yeah, people can hear us.
Good. All right. How's everyone doing tonight? Sorry for the little delay there. And I have our pet sitter, Kelly, has been cooking keto treats for us. So she did keto cookies, chocolate chip cookies last week, which needed a little more sweetener. We all agreed on that, but the texture was really great. It's right on. She just delivered some cupcakes, some keto cupcakes. So which are pretty good. Actually. You know, I don't need to be overloaded with sugar to be happy. But there you go. Okay, so let's check out who we got here. Brian Simpson. we all said hello there. Let's see. Teslar's here. How are you doing, Teslar? Daddy Star Trek is here. Eccleston Angel is here. Scott Gavin is here. How you doing, Scott? Olive Drab is here. How are you? Here. Oh, this sounds like a new name to me. Jada Melchiori. Is that it?
Yeah, I've not seen that that before.
Jens Gunson is here. So yeah, Rob Harden. How are you, Rob? And Stephen Ross. Yeah, why is it? Oh, you know why it's dark here? Because I didn't turn on my lights. Let me just turn on the
amateur.
How's that? There we go.
That's better.
There we go. Although the one is, yeah, well, that's pretty good actually. I think I need to adjust the lights because we need a light back here. And are these plugged in? I guess those lights are plugged in. I'll figure it out. But
Ay, caramba.
Let's see. God, Stumblerock, haven't seen you in a little bit. There's Jay from Wilhelm. Got a good audience there. There you go. Larry Rhodes here. There's Paul. The fat one. Yes.
Yeah, I had the Enterprise D as my background there, and it's gone again. Every time the camera craps out. Well, it's not the camera, it's StreamYards.
Yeah. So shall we start with Picard or start with talk about Picard first? Well,
I'd say get the Axanar updates out of the way.
Oh, okay. Axanar update. So where are we? And I don't have the photo on this computer, but so Mark and I have been putting the assembly together for the next episode, for episode 4. And right now, so that's in great shape. The thing is, when you we had the script, and so we've been shooting the script. So we shot the script in November 2021. We shot J.G. Hertzler as Travis. We shot Rob Hayes as Xander DeVille. We shot Raj Kala as Commodore Singh. And then on this shoot this past month, we shot Adrian Wilkinson as Korax. We shot Tina Ari as Captain Arev, the Vulcan. We shot Vince Canlis as Tanaka. And we shot Rob Prago as April. So we shot all 4 of those. So basically we right now have 10 of the 17 characters in the can. So what we've done is Mark Edward Lewis has put together all the footage, and he basically, what we have, the characters we have, he's dropped them into the episode. The ones we don't have, we've put a slug, which is either like, for me, it's going to be it's an image from Prelude, and then I voiced it, and then we do voiceover. And then and that way you literally have the episode. Now, it doesn't look like the episode. None of the compositing is done. None of the visual effects are in or anything, but you get to see the pacing, and visual effects may be 10 and whatever. And we all just record lines. Whoever, Mark or myself, just record different characters' lines, just so we can see how's the pacing. Where do we have to be? And the first cut was like 21 minutes. Well, we got to get it down to 15. So massage a little, and then we're like, you really, once you see it edited, you go, oh, that doesn't work. All right, we need to change that. Or, oh, you know what we need? And what's great is that especially, and I'll tell everyone here, because it'll be a surprise to most people, but you guys, since you're loyal and you come here all the time, I'm going to tell you, we have taken performances by Richard Hatch that were not used in Prelude. There were basically 5 great lines that were not in Prelude. And we've so far worked, I think, 3 of them into the next episode. And what we had to do with that is we had to, they weren't a natural fit. We're like, okay, in order to make this line work, we need Moreau, the other Klingon, to say this. And so it's great. And there's this one scene where it's like Richard, Moreau, Karn, Moreau, and it's just click, 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 boom, and it works brilliantly. So, and then sometimes we're like, oh, we need a different line, for something else. And like we've been making notes. So literally it's so good that we didn't do the LA shoot first. It's just great that we did it, because now we're going back and we're modifying the script for the actors in the LA shoot, because we got 6 actors in the LA shoot, right? 6 actors in LA, that puts it at 16. I'm 17. We shoot that here. We got a couple reshoots we're going to do with one character. But now we're going, okay, is this where? And now I think last edit, I think we were down to 16 minutes, right? And of course, we don't have the visual effects in yet. We don't have the soundtrack yet. So, but we're within striking distance of the 15-minute limit. So there you go. So that's where we are. So that's the first episode. We haven't hit the second episode yet. But and so people are asking, when you ask about the timeline and when are we going to be ready and so much. Hold it. Oh my God, fettuccine Alfredo. Oh my gosh, that's no meat today, Val, but that's a hell of a lot of cream there. There, hey Eric, thank you so much for that. Oh, I don't know, Scott. That's too soon. Hell, Madsen. So I basically, the other day I rewrote the script. I basically took the script that we shot, and then I looked. Basically, I just watched the edit, and I edited and I changed the script. So now the script matches the assembly that we've done, and it works really well. And it's good because we got 2 sets of eyes on it. I've said it before, the ending to Prelude we owe to Robert Meyer Burnett. He's the one that originally the script said it was going to end on "I do not fear the Klingon Empire." Rob changed it around, and it really worked, especially with Alexander Bornstein's music, right? It really worked. So this time, this episode leads you right up to the point of the Battle of Axanar. And so we had to make sure that there were, it was weighty and that there were stakes involved, right? And are you okay? Yeah, are you all right? But yeah, you all right? One of my dogs is down here. It's Charlie Brown, the one whose buddy we had to put to sleep on Tuesday.
Yeah, that was a sad.
Yeah,
moment.
So we finished it, and what you realize is, what actor do you have saying a line? I mean, there's a couple times where I said, I'm not the right guy to say that line. We need this actor to say that line, or we switch it around, or you have maybe you haven't seen an actor in long. Well, you know what? We need to put this actor there, but so that's what we're doing, and it's pretty exciting. It's pretty good, and the way we ended it, I think Mark and I are both like, okay, this is good. It doesn't have the stakes of Prelude, but it's a notch below. But it ends really strong. So I think it hits all the right notes. I think everyone's going to be really happy. And then, we'll get to the assembly for the next one, which will be very visual effects, heavy. So that's it. So the plan is to finish, hopefully by the end of June, we'll finish with principal photography and spend the next 6 months in post-production. That's where we are right now. So that's the plan. So there you go. I haven't heard Papa Murphy's in a while. That's a North. Isn't that a Pacific Northwest thing, Scott? Papa Murphy's. No steaks. There's no red meat over here. I don't eat steaks. Thank you, Daddy. Star Trek. Yeah, we had my little dog Jack, who was one of the 2 dogs that we took in when Crystal's mom passed away last year. Unfortunately, he had a heart murmur, and that's always fatal. Hold on. So the heart murmur in dogs is this. It can't be treated. There's just nothing. There's nothing to actually do but give medicine and try and maintain it, right? Manage it, as they say, right? That's the important thing. Let's see. So I will. If you're one of my friends on Facebook, and you should be, everyone here, we're more than happy to. I'm more than happy to friend everyone who's here. Let me just share this. So here's here you go. Here is. This is my post, and here you see a couple of photos of our boy Jack here, there he is. There's Jack. That was the morning. He could not breathe. It was really sad. Here he is with Charlie Brown. These are the 2 that we took in from Crystal's mom when her mom passed. His favorite thing to do was to roll around in the grass. While I was trying to corral everyone to go inside, he was rolling around in the grass. He loved rolling around in the grass. Here he is again the morning we had to take him in. And here's Crystal at the vets. We knew, when he woke us up in the middle of the night, unable to breathe, it was we kind of knew. And then I talked to Eve Gideon, who plays the communications officer in the scene that we shot on the bridge. He's a veterinary surgeon. So I called her up first thing in the morning. I said, this is the situation. I sent her a video I sent her a video of Jack, and she said, "That's not good, Alec. You got to take him in right now. He either has to be on oxygen, and you need to be prepared that you may not be able to do anything." So Crystal and I packed up and rushed out of the house with him and took him in, and the vet confirmed that there was nothing to do, and it was probably time. It was time. And so we let him go. He bit Dr. Corey, our vet. He bit him on the hand as the doc was trying to give him the shot. So Jack went out as he lived. Like, do not mess with Jack. It's fun because he was a Chihuahua Jack Russell mix. And those are like the two worst attitudes with dogs. So he was a mix of it. So you did not pick up Jack. He was not happy about that. So listen, as I say, as I've said, and some of you, I've said it to some of you, is that we don't know the first. He was about 15. We don't know what the first 12 years of his life were. He was a stray. Was he loved? Was he abused? We don't know. What we do know is the last 3 years of his life, he was loved and spoiled and part of a pack of 6 dogs that all got along. And we loved him, and he went out seeing me and Crystal, and us holding him. So there you go. Thank you all for your kind words. We appreciate it. So as far as Axanar goes, I think the plan right now with Axanar, goal number 1, get it all in the can, right? Get all the footage shot. Big LA shoot. And we will be raising money for the LA shoot. If you're a donor, you have to be on our email list, by the way, because we can't talk about, and there's our email list down there. So we can't talk about fundraising publicly because of our settlement agreement. So we can only email, send out information via email. So you need to be on our email list, which is down below. And then we'll let you know about the fundraising, the special fundraiser we do for the LA shoot, which should be pretty exciting. Should be very exciting. So there you go. But the LA shoot, 6 actors, 2 Andorians, a Vulcan, 1 Klingon, and 2 humans. And it's a 2-day shoot. Was able to be a 2-day shoot because we were able to shoot 2 actors. We didn't plan on shooting Captain Orville, the Vulcan, and Tanaka, last month. Orville was a last-minute addition because Tina was one of my fellow students from acting class 10 years ago, and I just was like, oh, she'll make a good Vulcan, and she can act. So that was a happy addition. And then Vince Canlis, we asked to be Tanaka because we just couldn't get a hold of James Liu. He just moved to Vancouver. And after doing a great job on Friday on the bridge, Mark and I got together, and I just like, you know what? Why don't we shoot Vince as Tanaka tomorrow for the interviews? I said, James Liu is so busy. I mean, last year he disappeared for 6 months because he was on a Disney shoot. He was the stunt coordinator for a Disney feature film, and he wouldn't even respond to his friends. And I was like, oh, God, we just can't be in that situation. So we shot James Liu. We shot Vince Canlis as Tanaka. That was great. So so that's where we are right now, and we're pretty excited about that. So there you go. So that's where we are. Post-production starts July 1st. Let's figure we're done by the end of June. July 1st, we start post-production. And that, 2 episodes, we got compositing to do with one VFX house. Another VFX house is doing the visual effects. It's probably, and then we got to get it scored. Alexander Bornstein needs to score it. So, it's probably 6 months. We're probably talking Christmas time. Right. And so right now the question is, okay, that's when it's ready. When do we release it? When do we have the red carpet premiere? And so that is all a big question mark right now. We will We have some big. We're excited. The good news is that once we get it done, once it's done, we're happy with it. Send it off to get the Blu-rays done. The Blu-rays will be done and shipped before we release it, have our premiere and release it. So everyone will get it. But there you go. So, Brian, thank you so much. Yeah, right now we're switching over accounts. The site is not monetized right now because we had a problem with the AdSense account, so it is not monetized right now. So we're not. But tell you what, rather than thank you for the super chat, we really appreciate it. Know what the offer? Do this. Go here. Go down there to the Area Studio store. See that down there? Scrolling across the screen. Go and buy something. That way you get something. We appreciate the super chat. Understand YouTube takes 30% right off the top. Go and buy something at the store. That way we get more money and you get something cool in return. Right now we have a special because we have the signed calendars. And you get a signed calendar and a free unsigned calendar right now. So there you go. That's in there in the limited Axanar limited edition swag. So thank you so much. We appreciate it. There you go. Please hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. I'm not sure which ship scene you're talking about. Let's see. That's pretty. Yeah. Okay. We will talk about Picard here shortly. Alexander had to leave just because he's having a problem with his computer. Thank you, Ron. We appreciate it. Thank you, everyone who sent their condolences about Jack. Matthew Bracey's here. How are you? Oh, Mike from Denmark. How are you? Mike, well, I can't comment on that right now. Can't comment on it right now. Stay tuned. So first half of next year, we will finish principal photography. Principal photography will be finished by the end of June. Post-production will be the second half of the year. Premiere will be in LA or San Diego, maybe at San Diego Comic-Con. I don't know. I'll have to get Alexander on sometime to talk about that. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. We did that first. So there you go. So that's it as far as Axanar goes. All good news. We're pretty excited, pretty fired up. So any questions, shoot away. Otherwise, let's talk about Picard. It's really interesting. I've been paying a lot of attention to Picard and to what's happening on YouTube. Ooh, you've got people like Trek Culture and Screen Rant. Screen Rant does all the great hidden Easter eggs, right? They do a very, very good job of that. Although I gotta say his presentation is a little weak.
You mean Trek Culture?
No, Trek Culture is good. It's the presentation on Screen Rant.
I hate Screen Rant. They just bring out so much bilge.
I like his hidden Easter eggs ones because they're well done.
I've watched some of them.
His talking dog is annoying.
I've watched some of his "Here's What You Missed," and I'm like, no. If I watched it with my eyes closed and on mute, I may have missed it. But
I like hearing people talk. last night or the night before. I guess it was the night before. I watched. It was Wednesday night. Wednesday night, I watched Doomcock's little confab that he had with a bunch of people, and listen. I mean, Doomcock is part of the, although I don't think he's part of the Fandom Menace, that group. It's his maybe he was, I don't know, but his content is all this like that. It's typically very negative. Kurtzman is the problem with Star Trek. Kathy Kennedy's the problem with Star Wars. And listen, everyone's got their opinions. I've said it before about Doomcock. I mean, I think I love his shtick. I think his shtick is it's very unique and very interesting. But I was watching his, he had like 6 people on his little Wednesday night gathering, and one of them didn't even. It was like he had done no research on, not Doomcock, someone else, and he did no research, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I can't believe that Terry Matalas named a planet after him," and I'm like, dude, everyone is talking about the fact that was named in Enterprise, and and that was done by the showrunner of Enterprise. Did that as an homage to Terry, and it was kind of an in-joke because it was supposed to be like the scummiest planet in the galaxy, and this guy was like, "Oh, Terry Matalas named a planet." No, he didn't, and so it's like, okay, well, at least do your research about the episode, right? There was a lot of people and they complain about a lot of things. I mean, I can watch Doomcock and take it as it is. I know what I'm going to get there, and I know the take. And it is, listen, it's an opinion show, right? It's his focus is on that, and God bless. I mean, he's done very well, and I'm happy for him. I think as I've said before, I got a bigger. I talked with Doomcock before. I talked with Gary from Nerdrotic before. We had Gary on a stream once together. It's sad that Gary has gone the ultra political route. And he had Alex Jones on his show, which that's not good at all. But I think it would really be great, and I know Doomcock got into it recently with Rob Burnett, because Rob Burnett said season 3 of Picard was really good, and Doomcock, got into it with him. I'd love to see more of back and forth, good versus, I like it versus I don't like it. Find out what people are saying, because I'm interested. Why do you like it or do you not like it, right? Ultimately, I mean, how much input did Kurtzman have in this season, right? Terry Matalas was running the show. He's the showrunner. So, I'm hoping good things for this season. All
right. Fair enough.
So let's see.
I mean, the Matalas or whoever made some of the decisions, they've got other things to answer for. I don't care that he did or did not name a planet after himself.
Yeah. Listen. If I was showrunner, if I was the showrunner, I wouldn't use the planet named after me. But that's me. I'm not a professional showrunner. Terry is. He's got 2 great seasons. He did 12 Monkeys, which I thought was brilliant. I love 12 Monkeys. So, but there you go. Oh, there you go. There's a good background for you.
Yeah, I've changed USB ports on the camera. See if that does anything.
Yeah.
Doomcock. See, I always love that name because here in Britain, calling yourself a cock means you're a dick. And he is a bit of a dick. So he's got a perfect name.
Donnie says, I don't judge Doomcock for just like him. I love his singing voice. Listen, again, no one. I respect his opinion on this. I mean, the thing that got me with his show and with Midnight's Edge and that ilk was when they were just like, "Oh, Kurtzman's about to be fired." Well, that they were saying that all the time for 4 years, and it's like, guys, that's
just
bullshit.
every week.
That's bullshit. If and I just felt it was, I mean, they just kind of became the Fox News of fandom, and I just don't think that just like Fox News isn't healthy for this country, that's being like that is not healthy for fandom.
I mean, think about it. If he was doing such a bad job, why are they continually making more and more shows? We've got more Trek on the TV now than we ever had at any one point. He's obviously done something right, and he's making the studio money.
Yeah, I mean, and if you want to give him shit, listen, the unfortunate thing was Discovery was the first thing he released, so he has been branded with just with the Scarlet Letter of Discovery, and which we've all discussed Discovery ad nauseum, and there's not a lot of fandom that loves it, but listen, if you're going to give him shit for Discovery, then you got to credit him for Lower Decks and Strange New Worlds, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. There's a lot of people who they hate Discovery so much they're not watching any of the new shows. They're calling it Kurtzman shit Trek, and they don't watch it, so therefore they don't know what it's about. But they're still hating on it.
Well, yeah, and I gotta say, I was disappointed to learn that I talked to one. I know a bunch of people who work on the show, and I was talking to one person who works on the show. And they told me that they had not seen any Kurtzman Trek. And this is a person who worked on Picard season 3, who's a big Star Trek fan, right? And I was like, "No, wow, you didn't." And I didn't say this to them because I didn't want to be obnoxious. But I was like, "Oh, really? You didn't watch Star Trek because?" It's like you can't have an opinion. I say you have an opinion about Star Trek. You don't have to like it. You don't have to share my opinion. Whatever opinion you have, idic, right? Idic. However, if you have an opinion and you haven't seen it, I'm going to discount your opinion, right? I'm just going to say, well, listen, you have an opinion, but I'm not going to listen to you, and I'm not going to give you any value because you haven't watched it. Watch it and say, I don't like it. Here's why I don't like it. They did okay, great. That's where we can say, oh, I understand where you're coming from. And listen, with Discovery, there was a lot of reasons not to like it, right? But, I just think that I stopped watching Discovery, but I gave it a shot. I did 3 seasons worth, 3.5 seasons worth. And strange, and I got to go back. Lower Decks, I watched 2 episodes when it first came out. And I was like, not for me. And I stopped watching it. And after season 2 came out, everyone's telling me how great it is. I'm like, all right, I'll go back. And I loved it the second time around, right? I loved it. So I really think you have to watch it all. And Strange New Worlds, listen, Strange New Worlds is arguably, it's got to be one of the 3 best seasons of Star Trek.
Yeah. The thing I like about Strange New Worlds is you can take any of the episodes and plop them into any of the, let's call them legacy Trek series up to Enterprise, and they would fit perfectly. Obviously, you'd have to change the name of the characters and stuff like that, but the actual plots and the stories just work.
Yeah.
And there's so many nods to Trek lore in there, things to come and things that have already passed by Pike's time.
Yeah.
And Pike's saying, what they're calling it, the Prime Directive, it'll never stick. Yeah. I got a good laugh out of that.
Brian, I'm going to disagree with you here. Brian says, not sure why all the PC disdain for those calling out the woke culture vandalism Star Trek, Star Wars. Okay, well, we can have a discussion about this.
Star Trek has always been woke.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I don't see woke as a pejorative. I don't. The term woke means you are sensitive to, other people and other cultures and other ways of doing things. Right? That's all it means. I mean, listen, Jesus Christ was pretty damn woke. Okay. So I don't see it as a negative. And also, I've been watching Star Trek since it was first on TV in '66. Star Trek was always woke. Star Trek was the wokest show in
That's
the 60s.
How old he is.
Yeah, I'm old. So
sorry, I had to put that in.
I don't think it's cultural vandalism. Yes, Discovery pushed it way. I mean, yeah, I will agree that Discovery went like way overboard with it. All right, and I'm okay with that. Okay, not the way I would have handled it. I mean, I would have maybe had a little less of that. But I've got lots of LGBTQ friends who love that about the show. So I see it. And Star Wars is absolutely not woke. If you're still bitter about Daisy Ridley playing her character, I'm like, really? Sorry, there was a female lead. I mean, you had male leads in the original and in the prequels, and so now you have female lead. I'm totally cool with that. Especially, I thought Daisy Ridley did a phenomenal job. So
yeah, she wasn't bad. I don't have a problem with it at all.
Yeah, but Brian, this is the thing about my point is that I respect the fact that you feel that way. I mean, you've seen all of Star Trek. You feel that it's a certain way. God bless you. We don't have to agree on things. So there you go. Listen.
Yeah. You put the point. You mentioned it there that Discovery maybe took it a bit too far, because I didn't realize that until my friend pointed out to me saying, and this guy is he accepts all genders, all shapes and sizes, everything, right? And he says, do you know there's not one straight male main character in Discovery?
Isn't the Asian guy? Is it?
Nope. Well, name him. He's not a main character.
He's one of the bridge guys.
He's one of the floozies that are in the back that shout out when things are going bang and
I think
fritzing and stuff.
The best example of Discovery going, because you can't say a Star Strange New Worlds is too woke. You can't say that Lower Decks is too woke. You can't say that Prodigy is too woke. I mean, you can't. I'm sorry.
Well, I've not watched Prodigy, so I couldn't say.
Everyone's still bitching about Discovery, and the way I look at it is, and not again. If I was in charge, would I have done all of that? Not sure I would have. But I wasn't in charge, and quoting the great Ronald D. Moore when he was at the 20-year reunion of Battlestar Galactica, when he was launching the new Battlestar Galactica, and he and Richard Hatch was running the show. He was one of the people running the show, and he invited Ronald D. Moore to come in and pitch, and he showed us the trailer for Galactica, and with a female Starbuck, and I'll never forget, because I was standing in the back of the room. It was standing room only. It was a tiny room, and after I was like, fuck yeah, this is awesome. Right. But there were so many people that were all about classic Galactica. Now, remember, this was the 25-year reunion. So what was that, 2002? And it was right before Ron launched the new Battlestar Galactica. So it's only 25 years since the original Galactica, as opposed to now when it's, what are we, almost, we're 45 years.
God.
But
long time.
And Ron, and so everyone was ready to just eat him for lunch. And Ron had so much grace and class. And he said, look, guys, he said, I know what you guys want. And basically Tom DeSanto, who's been in Hollywood and was involved with the Bryan Singer a lot. Tom DeSanto was going to be one of the showrunners on Galactica when Bryan Singer was doing it, right? Tom DeSanto, they were going to pick up the story from the original, right? And so Ron was like, look, I know this isn't the story you want. You want this. I'm giving you this, a reimagined universe. And I know it's not what you want. He goes, but Universal didn't hire you. They hired me. So I get to tell the story I want. And I'm sitting in the back going, oh, ouch, snap. And I was just ready for people to just go, holy shit, I can't believe you just said that. But I was like, you go, Ron. Woo, you go. And it was great. And that's it. So, CBS, let's face it, the number one comment we get is that people are like, oh, we wish CBS was smart enough to hire you instead of Kurtzman. Okay, first of all, I don't make TV shows. I never could do what Kurtzman did, right? I don't have that experience. Thank you all. We understand where you're coming from. You prefer the traditional Star Trek, right? It's the same exact thing. Well, listen, CBS hired Kurtzman to do it. They didn't hire me, right? For very good reasons. Forget their vendetta against me. Forget all the nonsense of the lawsuit and them trying to squash what the fans love. They hired Kurtzman, and that was his vision. And you know what? It didn't work. Okay, Discovery didn't work. Lower Decks worked. Strange New Worlds worked. Prodigy worked. Yeah, I mean, it may not be everyone's favorite, but it was doing what it wanted to do, right? And Picard, yeah, it's uneven. I think there's universal agreement. The first two seasons of Picard are very up and down. But let's wait on season 3, and in the meantime, say 2 wins, Lower Decks and Strange New Worlds. Picard and Prodigy, just say those are 2 draws. And 1 loss, Discovery. All right, he's 2-1-2. All right. In the World Cup,
I'll agree with that.
The second round.
I'll agree with that.
So yeah, that's my take on it. I
can't get everything right.
No, and you listen. The thing that people don't realize is, as much as people love Axanar, you can't make Axanar and release it for a mass audience. We get the people watching Axanar who love traditional Star Trek. We're just not. I've always said this. We're not made for everyone. The bridge wouldn't look like our bridge looks if say they said, hey, we're going to make Axanar into a streaming series and your budget's $10 million an episode. Do you think they're going to be okay with that bridge? No, they're not going to be okay with that.
No. This is the argument I had about Discovery. But everybody was saying it's set before the original series, but it looks far more futuristic. I went, well, yeah, because the original series was set in the 60s, and their idea of the future was completely different to what our idea in the future is. Our technology today bests a lot what you saw in the original series. So you can't design that kind of set for the mass audience, because they're going to go, what is this hokey crap? And turn over. Ratings just never are there, and no more Trek.
Yeah, no, I agree. And just scrolling through some of the comments.
I like one. There's one. Who was it? I need to scroll up. What was it? When you were talking about wokeness. There we go. Vetred. Strange New Worlds is awesome. Discovery gives me heartburn. Sorry, I just love that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Daniel, how are you? Welcome. Welcome to the channel. It's good to have you, sir. And listen, everyone, I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you go down to Aries Studio Store and you see the address scrolling down there and go to the shipping charges, if you're new here, send us a $1 shipping charge. Just go pay $1 and I'll send you a set of 5 patches, which is worth like $40, just because you came out, right? That's what we want to do. We want to bring you into the fold. So you'll get the fleets of Axanar patches. Just send me. Just go to the store. Go to the category that says shipping charges. Click on $1 shipping charge. Fill it out. Send us $1. Boom, and I'll ship that off to you. So there you go.
There you go. That's that cracks me up.
Yeah.
So it looked like I was maybe some people maybe thought I was laughing at your justifying diversity and stuff like that. Well, I wasn't, because I'm fully on board on that. I just relayed one of my friend's comments on Discovery, but that comment there, that was.
And Scott, see, I'm just gonna disagree with you. No one's hating on white men. I just, unfortunately, a lot of us older white guys are just, uncomfortable because older white men are getting a lot of attention right now. Well, it's been the other way for 250 years in this, or more in this country. So I'm not threatened by it, and you shouldn't be either. I am a flaming heterosexual with, and I am not bothered. And I have LGBTQ friends, and God bless them that they're getting attention at this point. It doesn't threaten you. It doesn't. You shouldn't feel that way. Well, and also, listen, I'm with you. It's an alternate timeline. All of this is an alternate timeline. Yep. It's the Discoverse. It is not part of the continuity. And they can say it all you want. They continue to say it, which is, and I just wish we would be very clear about that. And that's one of the things about Axanar. We're going to make very clear in Axanar that the Narada did not come through the wormhole in the Axanar timeline. So we feel we're, you can call it the Axiverse if you want, right? I don't need to shove it down your throat that we're prime timeline. I don't need to say that. We're the Axiverse. We're different, we've
already had one spin-off.
Listen, and God bless J.J. Abrams for saying, "Hey, it's an alternate timeline. It's the Kelvin."
They even said it on, because I recently rewatched the film. They said it on screen, and people still don't get it.
That's not, and Scott, that's not blasphemy. I loved Ray. No. I loved Daisy Ridley. I
mean, a lot of people were calling her a Mary Sue because suddenly she had all this inkling of power. Well, it was called The Force Awakens, and she didn't have any of that stuff until what's his face, Adam Driver. I can't remember his character's name now. Yeah, until he used the Force powers to delve into her mind, and that must have clicked the switch.
Yeah.
And it makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah,
I mean, we're talking about a film with space wizards and laser swords. I can believe that she's had something repressed, and he went and turned it on by accident.
Yeah, and listen. I would argue that the prequels are better than the sequels. I mean, obviously, the 3 originals are the best 3 films. I mean,
you're treading on dangerous ground there, even with me.
Yeah, no, but I would argue that the prequels are better than the sequels. I mean,
they have their moments.
Force Awakens is a remake of A New Hope. Last Jedi is just pure crap. And then
that's one of the arguments I heard a lot. It was too Force Awakens was too much like A New Hope, and then they made something completely different. That's too different.
Well, I don't know it being different. I had The Last Jedi was just crap. And then Rise of Skywalker was, listen, JJ,
it was decent. It was decent.
JJ does a lot of things because they're cool, right? I mean, this is JJ's storytelling, and listen, he's a very good visual storyteller.
I like how he's gotten rid of the lens flares.
Yeah, and there were some really really cool scenes.
Yeah,
there's a lot that I liked. I definitely think that Rise of Skywalker was the best of the 3 movies. I wish J.J. Abrams had done all 3. I wish they just said, J.J., beginning, end, it's you. It would have been consistent narrative. We wouldn't have had that. But that being said, I still, when you really think about it, when you think about Star Wars, the original 3, right? It's like 1, 2, 3, boom, boom, boom. Those are the best 3. And then you think of the prequels. Okay, the prequels aren't perfect. There's a lot we don't like about the prequels, but go back and watch them again. There's a lot of stuff that is really important to canon now. There's a lot of stuff that's, as they mine Obi-Wan and Darth Maul and you name it. There's a lot of stuff that, and Lucas sacrificed character development for storytelling. He wanted to get from A to B, and in getting A and B, we wound up with Jar Jar Binks. We wound up with the pod race. We wound up with, there was just a lot that we had to suffer through. But it's a really compelling story, and so anyway, I mean, that's my take. The 3 sequels were just, and it's tough because there's some great scenes. I mean, I love the death of Han Solo. I love it. And when he comes back in Rise of Skywalker, holy shit, that is fucking awesome. It is just amazing. When I saw it, I lost my shit. I was like, when I saw that in the theater, I was like, oh my God, my heart skipped a beat. I was like, it's Harrison Ford and he's back. And the scene is so poignant. It's so, oh my God, it just tears at you, right? He's, it's so, and who do you got to credit? You got to credit JJ for that, right? That's a great scene, right? And bringing Londo back. I mean,
but there are more of us, Paul. There are more of us. That scene, wow, the scene's not long enough because there are ships still jumping in from hyperspace. There's billions on the screen, but there's still more coming.
And then,
you're like, holy crap.
On the other hand, the whole thing with all those Star Destroyers rising from the planet, I'm like, oh, come on.
Yeah, that was...
What the frack?
What?
I mean, that's
you don't rise your entire fleet like that in tandem. And
who is building them? No one knew about this. I mean, how many hundreds of thousands of people did you need? There was just,
I mean, I can believe that in the world of Star Wars, where the Emperor rules with an iron fist, he could have had these people and kept them locked down in that area, and so no one would have known. I can believe that, but this whole uniform rising and depending on this navigation beacon that's not defended, it's a plot device.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's right. That's JJ's story. That's JJ's movie making style as well. He does things because he wants a cool shot that doesn't make sense.
I mean, it looks cool, but it doesn't make any sense.
Right? Enterprise rising out of the water doesn't make any freaking sense.
Yeah.
Wait, the Death Star beam from the planet splits apart. How do you manage that?
It's like I keep saying, it's a film with space wizards and laser swords.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, they've got big capital ships, but they still send tiny little fighters against a massive space station.
Yeah. Mike from Denmark asks, when you film the special effects shots of the USS Ares, is it pure CGI or is it? Yeah, it is pure CGI. We're not using a model.
It would be lovely to have a miniature, though. Can you imagine the squee from everybody if you actually turned up somewhere at a convention? You look at this, all singing and all dancing. Oh, that would be lovely.
Listen, I'm working my way towards getting a resin 3D printer. Just so I can start making 1/350th scale USS Ares models for everyone, and so that'll make it about yay big.
You can light that. That's big enough that you can actually light it up.
Yeah. So I'm working on that right now. Yeah. That's not really, but Brian Fuller didn't get anywhere near, and Brian didn't start Disco. All right. Kurtzman started Disco. Brian was brought on board and was developing his idea. We don't know what that would have been called. Kurtzman took over for it. I'm also not sure. I thought Fuller left on his own. I didn't think that Fuller was fired.
Was there not something about he just wasn't being given the creative freedom that he needed, and he went,
"Yeah, well,
either you let me do my thing, or I'm leaving."
That's what I understood. I could be wrong.
That's what I understood as well.
There you go. Here we are with Sam Cockings. Sam jumped in. All right.
I found myself actually agreeing with Gabe on a comment on Facebook yesterday. Actually, it was today. Couldn't believe it.
Oh, hold on 1 second. Here you go, Sam. If you want to, I'm going to send Sam an invite. In case, Sam, you're inclined to come on our stream, you're more than welcome. There we go. Okay, Electro Jed. That's a great name. Electro Jed. I just recently heard about what this was all about, and I'm just to say kudos to you guys for all the work you've done as fans of TOS and J. Hey, well, thank you so much, Electro Jed. Hey, make sure you go to the store. As I've been telling everyone, down there below, see that scroll? Go there in the column on the left where all the categories of merchandise are. Go to the shipping category, shipping charges. Pay a $1 shipping charge. I'll send you 5 fleets of Axanar patches. So for $1. So it's just for anyone new here or who hasn't gotten them. There you go. Here we go. CBS hiring Brian Fuller to make his alternate Trek was the big problem, and all of the Trek has come from there since they were locked into the set's costume design. We're not going to mention the Narada, but some things that happened with you'll know that the Narada never showed up. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Post Narada, things didn't go quite.
Right, Scott. I'm going to
things didn't go quite the same way. Let's just say.
Dude, when every white male character in pop culture is not either a simp or evil, that is hating it. Well, that's not true, Scott. I'm sorry, you're wrong. Is Christopher Pike by Anson Mount? He doesn't fit that category. Did either of the 2 male leads in Star Wars fit that? Did Oscar Isaacs or his character? What's his character? Poe Dameron or Finn? Were they idiots, simps, or evil? No. So I
although the Lorca was evil.
Lorca was.
I'm not agreeing. I'm just saying Lorca. I'm just saying Lorca was evil.
But yeah, I see, Scott.
But he was badass evil.
Your basic premise is wrong. It's a generalization that is not borne out by the facts. Every white male character in pop culture is Jason Bourne, is James Bond. Pick it. Is Batman in the new Batman movies, or any of the Marvel characters? What about Iron Man? What about Captain America? What about Ant-Man? What about Thor? No. Honestly, Scott, I dare you to prove that there are any white male characters that are idiots, simps, or evil. Scott, you're just wrong here. That's where I'm not going to respect your opinion. That is not based on facts.
Although that is one thing I heard people talk about the 2016 Ghostbusters. But that's not a discussion.
Yeah, but that's not the point he's making.
No, it's not every. No.
Donnie Pearson says, I myself have considered The Force Awakens to be Superman Returns of Star Wars, to be honest. Yeah.
Superman Returns. Yeah. That was the one before.
I'll listen.
Henry Cavill, wasn't it?
I'll agree with Brian here. Oh, by the way, Brian, I just noticed your avatar, which I love. A MASH reference. That's awesome. Yeah, listen. Brian says Ray was okay, but the dismantlement of Luke into a blubbering hermit was too much. Luke was totally mishandled. Totally. I'm with you. Just ridiculous.
If you think about it, though, it was still a lot in Luke's character, because he never learned from his mistakes, and that's exactly what Yoda told him. The Ghost Yoda, spoilers, told him, learn from your mistakes. You have not.
Yeah.
And that is Luke. He was always a little bit too eager and a little bit too quick to give up if things didn't go right. Because remember, he couldn't lift his X-wing. He gave up.
Right.
Yoda had to do it.
Donnie says, then again, my number one Star Wars movie is Rogue One, though the score is what I love best about all the Star Wars.
Rogue One is fantastic.
My favorite Star Wars movie. No question. Hands down, favorite Star Wars movie. Absolutely. I love it. I love Rogue One. And
I love how it just seamlessly
fits right
seamlessly goes into A New Hope.
Right.
And you now know why Vader was on their ship and wasn't having any of their crap. He knew they had the plans.
Yeah.
He knew they weren't a diplomatic vessel. He was, no, give me those bloody plans. I know you've got them. I just watched you fly away with them.
Yes, agreed. Bad Batch, I love the Bad Batch. Bad Batch is great.
See, I've got a diehard friend, right? He's got TK armor on all sorts, and he hates the Bad Batch.
Yes,
I've never watched it, so I haven't got an opinion.
Correct here. Copyright laws have been corrupted by Disney. Let's call it what it is. It's all Disney's fault.
The mouse should have been public property, I think at least 20 years ago, something like that. But they've thrown so many lawyers at it and caused copyright to get so convoluted, no one knows what anymore.
Thank you, Mike from Denmark. We appreciate it. You're going to see a lot more of that bridge.
Looking forward to seeing it in person.
Yeah, that was just, Daniel, I'm with you, man. That was bad. That was just bad. I mean, and
there was still in the atmosphere of a planet.
No, I know it was just,
but it was
just like really just horses on. I don't know. It just
I think what they were trying to say there is there was everybody was throwing everything they had at the this evil empire. Well, that's fair enough, but it was a bit jarring. I'll give you that.
Oh, Matthew Nick says, doesn't that violate your agreement with CBS selling your own ships? No, it doesn't. And I know my agreement, and I know who's selling those ships, and no, it doesn't. And we just had a very favorable ruling in that regard. Let me just tell you, the past from last Friday till today has been very, very, very good for Axanar in the legal realm. Very good. And I'm sure CBS is, I have no doubt CBS is watching right now.
Bat, head, clock.
Yeah. It's the funny thing about CBS is they constantly want to pit themselves against me. And I'm like one of the biggest Star Trek fans around. All we do is talk about Star Trek and how much we love Star Trek. And they want to make him an enemy of me, and they want to be petty with me. And it's like, why are you doing that, guys? That's just dumb. That is just not a good business decision, because I'm a huge Star Trek fan. And why aren't you working with me? But listen, it's not just me. They gave a takedown notice to PJ from Orville Nation. They gave him a copyright strike because he used an image in his video where he was talking about how much he loved Terry Metalis. It's just, I was talking with a big shot in the world of pop culture conventions. And he said that CBS and Paramount are the only ones who give anyone in the industry problems. They are just so over. As a matter of fact, he said that the reason Star Trek isn't Star Wars in popularity is because of CBS and Paramount. That was his opinion.
I mean, didn't they go around in the conventions in the 70s telling people to take off their homemade costumes? That's our IP.
Yeah, they have not endeared themselves to the fandom.
They've and here in the UK there used to be a plethora of fan run conventions, which were purely by fans for fans, and any money that was made up over the price of hiring out the hotel and such like was given to local charities, and verifiably so. But because they use Star Trek and sometimes publicly available images to advertise who was coming as a guest, Paramount slowly but surely beat them all into a bloody death. And then now we only have the big massive corporate one, which they've now cancelled. So there's nothing. So yeah, they've not endeared themselves well here. And then they pulled that big stunt for a big stunt that they did for season 4 of Discovery. Up to 2 days before it aired, they told everybody, yeah, it's going to be internationally. It's going to be on Netflix, and then 2 days before they'll say, right, no, it's only going to be on Paramount Plus. But Paramount Plus was not available outside of the US.
No,
Canada.
I never met Gene Roddenberry. Never saw him. Never met him. I was at my second convention was like 1986 in North Carolina, in Raleigh, North Carolina, when I was in law school, and Mark Leonard was the guest, and although I didn't get an autograph.
Yeah, my first Trek convention, Dwight Schultz was the guest.
I still have my program from my first convention, which was like my first convention was like 1979 or I think, or 1980, right around there. I've got my program upstairs. I'll have to
make you feel old. I can make you feel old and say I was just slightly more than a twinkle in my dad's eye at that point.
Yeah. So all good. Hey, we haven't really talked about Picard, so we've gone over, so we're gonna jump on and talk about Picard.
Yes, let's do that.
So if you have not seen Picard episode 2, why are you wasting time watching me? Go watch season 2 of Picard.
So spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert.
Yeah, go episode 2. But I'm okay. So far,
it was good.
Good. I'm in, and it's good. And I love all the Easter eggs. Listen, Did you catch this one Easter egg in particular? Which one? There were so many.
The view screen sound.
What was the view screen sound?
When they activate the view screen on Titan, it's this exact same sound from Star Trek 6, because Amanda Plummer's on the screen.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
It's a lovely little nod to Christopher Plummer.
I did not see that. The problem the only real problem I've had. So, well, here's one problem. Metallis Prime. Why does it look like Free Cloud? Huh?
It's probably they've probably repurposed the sets.
Right. I'm just like, this looks like the last planet we were on. Like, what happened to all those big, bright white planets? That we used to see in TOS. It's like,
but she's in the seedy underground of the universe.
Yeah, because even when she goes to District 9 or wherever the hell she's going, to the recruiting center that gets eaten. Look at the surrounding territory. It kind of looks like, slums. I'm like, wow.
I think that's what it's supposed to be. It's not. I don't think it's a main system planet. I think it's slightly less like the Outer Rims kind of thing going on there. Section 31?
I don't think. Well, listen, we'll disagree on the CIA being evil. The CIA has done evil things, but I don't think there's a lot of good people who work at the CIA.
Section 31 have done evil things. I mean,
Section 31
in Deep Space Nine, it's alluded to what things that they've done. Exactly. That was my point earlier. Star Trek has always been woke, and I'm using air commas there for the benefit of people who are only listening.
But
yeah, episode 2 is not bad at all. Yes, flinging the ship at the Titan was definitely. They definitely saw the Axanar reels and went, let's steal that.
Yeah.
What are they going to do? Sue us?
Yeah.
Or maybe it was a nice little homage, homage or homage, however you want to pronounce it.
An homage.
An homage. I mean, the series is so full of them so far. So
yeah, and if you notice the shuttle was named Savick.
I did notice that because apparently, according to some sort of logs feature that I've not seen, the first Titan 71771 or something like that was captained by Savick.
Exactly.
Which is why you see 3 Titan models in the ready room.
Right, and listen, that is the only area that I'm rolling my eyes at is that calling the new Titan a refit.
Don't get me started.
It's not a refit.
It's not. It's an entirely new ship because it's got an A.
Yeah,
it's got an A on the end of the registry.
Right, exactly. And if it was a refit, which it clearly is not,
then it wouldn't have the A.
It's like, oh well, they maintain some of the space frame. Well, put those 2 models next to each other, and they did everything.
They are entirely different. They're also.
The Titan, the middle one has an oval shape.
Yeah,
not a round.
Yeah. Not to mention the Lunar class also has the Ares stroke. Well, what ship was it? The first to design to have that kind of design. It was the I can't remember now. But the Lunar class, it has the low slung nacelles coming from the back, the spine of the secondary hull. This has high slung nacelles from a completely different hull. It's not a refit, as Knudsen says. It's not a refit.
By the way,
and stop saying that.
Jump in and say, good Star Trek fan films. I'm going to say go to Avalon Universe.
Yeah.
If you have time, check out Vance Major's work, which is a much different. It's a very different product than Avalon Universe. But Vance he's wonderful. So there you go. I mean, yes, if it was a refit, it would not be the A, right?
Precisely.
When we went from TOS to the motion picture, it was a refit, and they didn't add an A. The A was an entirely new ship. When the Defiant was destroyed, it did, right? They didn't say, "Oh, we refit the pieces." No, it was an entirely new ship with a new registration number. So.
And the thing is, the thing that really annoys me the most is not the fact that they're calling it a refit or they've slapped an A at the end of the registry without explaining what the Titan has done to be given that honor, because it's usually something that's, a ship that's done a lot of good, or it's a very historical ship, right? The Titan's none of that, right? But the thing that really annoys me the most about it is that they've got so much of it right. They've obviously paid a lot of attention.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And they've gotten so many things right. And they've added so much in there for fans of DS9, TNG, Voyager, all to like. And then they go and do this bollocks.
Yeah.
You know what it is? It's Terry going, "Oh, I like that ship." Yeah, but it's 150 years in the past. Just make it work. Slap an A on it. Call it a refit. That's exactly how the conversation went there.
Yeah, I know Sam. I know Sam Cockings knows something about this. I think he left, and he just did a drive-by comment. I'd like to know how that's how that snuck into the script. Because why did Riker say refit? Why didn't he just say it's the next in line? Or
it's they did the same thing in season 2. The Stargazer, clearly a completely new ship, but Picard says these refits are getting more complicated. That's not a refit.
That's not even close to a refit.
Because it's got a new registry, and in line with a ship launched roughly about that time would have a registry that begins with 8. And it has a registry. Basically they've took the original Stargazer registry and added an 8 to it at the start.
Yes.
I can get behind that. That's fine. But that's not a refit. That was on a completely new ship.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a refit.
Yeah.
So they've just gone. I think they've just went with that. I don't think they understand how ships and refits and the registries are supposed to work. I'm fairly certain that I'd hope Doug Drexler and Michael Kuda, because they were in the production, were probably trying to tell these guys, no, that's not how it works.
Oh, excuse me. Yes, and that's Sam Cockings. He has his Trek shorts. So absolutely, he's another one for sure.
I am moonlighting, doing some LCARs for him.
Yeah, and with Enterprises, I mean, we're on an Enterprise. What FG? I mean, it's just like, all right, can't we just give it new registry numbers? Can't we just do that, right?
I'm also not enjoying the fact that they're just throwing out these new Enterprises like they were candy. We've still not found out what's happened to the E.
Yeah.
And now the F is slated, again, spoilers, is slated for early decommissioning. Apparently this logs thing that explains a few things says she got tangled up in some sort of action, which has made her uneconomical or something like that to repair. I don't know.
Also, I was going to point out, just not getting off the ships for a second, the other good thing about this Picard episode, the Ferengi is awesome. And the Ferengi is the guy...
Yes.
Is the guy who was the main actor in 12 Monkeys. So Terry brought him in to play Sneed, and Sneed was great. He was great. I
loved the makeup. They've obviously allowed the makeup artist to go to town and modify, but it's not as terrible as the Discovery Ferengi, who, to be fair, is 900 years in the future, so interbreeding and all sorts. So I can get, but it still was a bit jarring. This is now your Ferengi. It's like, no. But yeah, Sneed was quite good.
Yeah,
if short-lived.
Yeah. Spoiler.
Again, we did give a spoiler alert at the start.
Yep. So, listen, I'm in. I mean, nothing has happened in Star. Listen, it is dark, right? This is the new way they're lighting everything, and
a lot of people are complaining about it, but I don't have a problem with it.
The thing that's good is my good friend Dave Blass, who's the production designer. Dave did, and he brought in the Okudas. He brought in Doug Drexler, and it's obvious that has carried forward, and that we see a lot of things, a lot of great stuff there. So good on Dave. The bridge, the bridge looks great. The bridge, all the L cars look dynamite, and the end credits are wonderful. I'm so.
I'm so. See, I break the mold here in Star Trek fandom, and I say First Contact has one of the best soundtracks.
Oh, I love it.
And I love that they're using the First Contact theme for the end credits. I just love it.
I'm with you here, Sturm. The Ferengi was good, but the idea an intel specialist officer would go in cold like that was pathetically obvious, and Bush League doesn't make sense in you. I agree with you, right? It's almost like, why is
makes sense?
Why is she in intelligence? She seems so emotionally unstable, even now. And I'm just like, wow.
Although because she's unstable, that what she did makes perfect sense to me.
And if Worf was the one she's communicating with the whole time, why is Worf towing the party line?
It might get explained.
Yeah, but listen, again, I'm in. I'm happy so far. I am looking forward to seeing what comes next.
Yeah, for all the irritating little things that they got wrong, there's way more positive stuff. I would say I'm enjoying 98% of it.
Yeah. And I love all the different. I love how they're incorporating all the soundtracks.
Yeah, right? Indeed. There are little nods to everywhere. Yeah. It's fantastic. It's a swan song for Star Trek, as it were. If this was going to be the last series of Star Trek ever, I would be happy with what they're doing so far.
No, that's correct. It amazes me that people are bitching and moaning about Picard. Oh, well, he's so old. Yes, he's old.
That's the point.
Patrick Stewart's like 82 right now, isn't he? Isn't he 82?
Something like that. And then people saying, "Oh, Shaw's entirely unlikable." Well, yeah, that's the point. He's obviously got some sort of arc that's going to play out, and I'm fairly certain now that. You may remember how I made mention that in the end credits there's this redacted report about a ship that got destroyed at Wolf 359. I'm thinking Shaw lost family on that ship, and that's what his deep-seated hate for the Borg and Picard is about.
Yeah, and Patrick Stewart is 82 right now.
Yeah,
82. So,
I mean, didn't he recently say actually that he would be up for more Picard?
Did he? I thought that this is definitely the end of the line for Picard.
Yeah, well, indeed, but I'm sure there was comments recently in the media that he would be up for more episodes if the powers that be wanted to. I think he was happy enough with the writing on Picard as a whole. Because he always said he'd only come back to Picard if the writing was special. And he obviously found it special enough.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, we'll see.
Why are you yawning?
I'm just it's been a long
It's
day.
It's 8:30.
Yeah, it's just
I've been up since 6 and it's 6 in the morning and it's now 1:30 in the morning the next morning and I'm perfectly fine. This is water I'm drinking, by the way, not coffee. I don't drink coffee.
You're a better man than me. How old are you?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm
the wrong side of 40.
I'm for retirement age here. So
you are the same age as my dad would be.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm still in pretty damn good shape. But
you certainly are.
I try my best. So
I saw you in your outfit on the bridge.
Okay. Yeah,
looking
I need
good.
to lose some more weight. I'm still 10 pounds too heavy, but anyway, all right. Listen. I want to thank everyone who came out tonight for this extended version. We went over by 50%. It's great to have all the regulars here chatting, and you guys. We're always looking at your comments and want to include whatever you guys think. I will say that this time, by the way, I will say this episode of Picard, Shaw was more tolerable than he was last episode. Shaw.
Yes, yeah, he did. I think they found his motivation. He wants to be known for doing something, not just plugging along in a science ship.
Yeah, and I will say the scene where the Titan appears. That
Poof.
was amazing.
That was awesome. That's not been done in Trek before. I like that.
That was really awesome. I'm questioning whether that could actually be done, but nonetheless, it was awesome.
Pish posh.
I'll take it.
Wibbly wobbly timey wimey.
I know, I'm nitpicking. Listen, I want to say thanks to everyone for coming out. Stay tuned. Wow, this is going to be a big year for Axanar. I'm really excited, and I can't wait to share everything with you. I can't wait for the LA shoot. You can listen. You should all be friends with me on Facebook. Make sure you find me on Facebook. And send me a friend request. Send me a message saying, Alec, this is so and so. I sent you a friend request. So I get so many friend requests. I have 1,000 friend requests
Wow.
I've never answered.
Your audio suddenly went really scratchy.
Oh, sorry. And so send me a friend request, and feel free to message me anytime if you need anything. And in the meantime, listen, thanks. God, and now you guys start messaging. And Michael Carter just messaged me on Facebook. I'm not sure how I feel about the strike.
I like it. It looks menacing, and it's supposed to look menacing.
And also, Wilhelm, should I skip across these? No, do not skip it. Do not.
No. Watch it.
Listen,
You got to.
I'm not going to tell you. I mean, the beginning and the end of season 2 are great. I think are really good.
It's a bit in the middle.
Yeah, the stuff in the middle it's still worth watching, right? Just remember, Star Trek is like pizza. When it's good, it's great. When it's bad, still pretty good.
You might find something that you like.
Yeah,
about
exactly.
it.
So
you don't know until you watch it.
Yep. And this we'll end on this point because Electrojet, that is a very good point. That is so it was pointed out today. I read about this and I said, yeah, right. That is a real interesting point right then and there.
Yeah, I wonder if there's more to that.
Yeah, I know. So do I. But
because he just click, right?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yep.
No argument.
Yeah, no argument. All right, guys.
So, yeah.
Thank you so much for coming out. I will be on Starfleet Tactical tomorrow night, Saturday night. We're going to be talking about refits. So, I told Chris Reeve, I said, we need to talk. I need you to talk about refits because I have my opinions, which seem to align up with basically all my other geeky Star Trek friends. But let's talk to a naval analyst about what qualifies as a refit. So tomorrow night, I believe it's 10. Check. It's already up. It's already scheduled. So make sure you join us, and we will be talking all things Star Trek then. So, Alexander, thanks for staying up late as always, my friend. Oh, by the way, count the number of beds on the USS Ares. Let's settle that argument with that guy. Someone said there were too many bedrooms. There were too many staterooms on the USS Ares when he looked at the blueprints.
Well, yeah, too many beds, but she's designed.
I don't even know how many are in the crew. Did we decide how many?
Oh no, you never gave me it. You just told me that it's full of beds and machinery. So that's what I drew.
There you go. Well, we'll count it up. But anyway, all right, everyone. Good night. As always, live long and prosper, and peace and long life, my friends. We will see you tomorrow for Starfleet Tactical back here, and then we'll do another stream this week. All right? Take care.